Boy, so what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. Today we're talking about 5 mistakes, maybe more, who knows, because I tend to ramble in these videos, that I made starting to EDC, everyday carry, a firearm. What I've done wrong, what I've learned. This is a firearm, by the way. And yeah, I just kind of love to share those kind of things with you guys because even though I'm not an ex-Navy SEAL, I've never written a book. I have been concealed carrying for the past 5 or 6 years. Probably 5 actually, because my permit's about to expire and they're good for 5 years. Okay, so when I started carrying, I thought I had it figured out. I thought I did all the research, watched all the YouTube videos I needed to know about what gun to select. My very first gun was the P365 by SIG XX with the short slide and the 12-round grip. It just didn't do it for me. I hated that gun. I hated that gun. And I'm glad that I hated that gun because that's what got me into the YouTube space in a way of like, this isn't doing what I want it to do. Now, granted, I suck at shooting, but I feel like I can do things to the gun to make me suck less at shooting. And so that's kind of what this channel has been exploring for the past 4 years or so. Essentially how to buy skill. Spoiler alert, you cannot. It just doesn't work like that. And so if at any point throughout this video, you're like, oh no, points 1, 3, 4, and 5 are me. Don't worry about it, man. It's okay. It's all right, because I did these things and I'm still alive. I'm okay. I think we're gonna make it, guys. Just learn from the mistakes. Do the soul searching required to be like, okay, is number 4 actually that bad? I don't think so. Maybe for him it is, but for me, it's fine because everybody's different and we all have our own truths. Mistake number 1, stopping with the gun, buying the gun and thinking, okay, well, here we are. Let's slap together the system around this gun that I bought with the remaining $6 that I have left and call it a day. Picking the handgun in isolation, the classic year 1 trap, and then realizing that the belt, the holster, even the clothing that you wear. Like you have to think about your daily context kind of holistically before you make a concealed carry, everyday carry handgun purchasing decision. Because like for something like this of a home defense nightstand gun, the context is largely different. It doesn't need to follow you around. It doesn't need to be hidden. It can be as big as you want it to be and it can just kind of sit around. And for me, exactly, like I don't want to throw shade on alien holsters, but I have yet to try one that's any good. And that's what I bought at first. I think it was a friggin' like $65 holster from them. And I could have done better off of Amazon for like 10 bucks. Not saying that you should, you really shouldn't. My favorite holsters are from TXC and offer a wide variety of solutions depending on what your flavor of holsters are. As for the belt, it's not fun. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. Unless you get like a Gucci. I feel like picking the wrong belt is like walking around with a little rock in your shoe and just leaving it there. Not taking the time to take the shoe off, dump it out, because it literally will transform how comfortable or not your carrying experience is. Truly. I think the holster plays a big role in that, but I think the belt plays a bigger role in that for sure. And for you guys, that might be a little bit different, perhaps, but making sure that you're finding a solution that works for you. I mean, there's a reason why the Hunter Constantine belt has kind of taken off. Soft, stretchy, moves with you on the bending points of the body, and then rigid where the gun holds, and that's it. Mine has not held up that well. They have not been, now granted, I got mine for free, so I can't complain all that much, but I was like, hey guys, like it's been like maybe 10 months and the elastic's really stretched out. And I think that did accelerate the rate of which the elastic will get ugly. But like my belt looks like it's ran through, and that happened after 10 months. And I didn't like that. So this other company called Aegetic, it's like Aegis, like the Greek word, the shield. This is the belt. It does have a rigid portion, sort of front loaded, front focused, with this part being more loose. The one thing that it's missing from the Hunter Constantine belt that I did like is that dual adjustability. When you're sitting down in a car or something, you can kind of like drop it to the looser setting. And then when you're standing up, boom, you can shift it, put it on the slightly tighter loop. So it only has one loop that you can interface with, but it has a lot more adjustability in terms of how loose or tight this belt sits than the Hunter Constantine, and it won't stretch out because this is not elastic. Even though this is loose and like comfortable enough, I've experienced no difference between this and the HC belt in comfort levels. And that's great because like Hunter Constantine's belt is touted as being like peak comfort for carrying a gun. And this one stacks up right next to it. They did send this out to me for free. There's no payment for talking about this belt. But I just want to say that, like, hey, belt selection really matters. Like, belt lives matter. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some days I will throw on like a Calvin Klein belt with a holster, and it's different. It carries a lot different. Granted, the belt buckle exposed looks cool, the tuck-in looks good, but there are absolutely trade-offs with making that decision, so I'm cognizant of that. Okay, now would be a good time to transition to the ad read. I feel like we're sufficiently into the video. Go check out DK Mags. They're a gun store. They sell guns, holsters, NFA items, accessories, parts, ammo, but my code doesn't qualify for that. So if you hit them up on their website, use code TKM5, you'll save 5% off. If you go in store in person in Minnesota, tell them I sent you. They'll give you a nice discount off of nearly everything too. If you do need ammo, go to Buffalo Creek Ammunition, use code TKM5 as well. That'll save you 5% off site-wide, ship straight to your door. If you want Cool Guy EDC bags, accessories, stuff like that, go to Eberl Stock, use code TKM10. You'll save 10% off site-wide. Cool. Landing page with the links is in the description below, kind of like a little home page. You can check them out. Mistake number 3, carrying what everyone else seems to be. Now, granted, when you follow the herd, it's for a reason. Like, it resonates with people. It seems to work broadly for a good amount of folks. There are differences in how a gun carries on a person. There are pretty drastic differences. Because your favorite creator, your favorite gun tuber, is carrying this gun, that's not necessarily going to work for you. I'm a massive 2011 guy, and I've always just wanted one to work for my everyday rotation. And I've tried to make the shoe fit. I really have tried to make the shoe fit. I carried, not this one, this is a Kimber like massive boy, but I carried a 4.5-inch Prodigy, that heavy freaking gun, what, 32 ounces unloaded, I think? And I just tried and like beat myself to make it work. Just wouldn't work. It was too painful. It was too uncomfortable. I printed way too much. It just didn't work with my lifestyle. It didn't work with my context. And that's fine. It's okay. It's not a moral failing. So now the biggest gun that I'll carry, ironically, is like this Kimber CDS9 Classic. But this and the Bodyguard 2.0 are kind of just the ones that I reach for and go to because I'm a small guy, and I admit it. It's not going to change anytime soon. So I might as well make the gun work for my life. Make the gun kind of work with the body that I've been given, the size that I've been given. So if you are a bigger dude, like, dude, take advantage of that. You get to carry a bigger gun. It'll hide on you. It'll conceal on you. A Glock 34 size weapon will be pretty much, to me, kind of like a Glock 48. And don't get me wrong, there's no free lunch. When you go from a gun like this to a gun like this, a little baby gun. Look how, oh my God, look at that difference. When you go from a gun like this to a gun like this, you are absolutely making trade-offs. There's no way to like gaslight you into thinking that this gun's gonna shoot as good as this one, but you can pick my first gun, the P365X, or you can intentionally build out a gun that you know is gonna work for your size, your context, the clothes you wear, the places that you go, and then configure like a purpose-driven, a purpose-built platform for you to bring with you every day. I think that's hugely important. Don't let that make you complacent is what I'm trying to say. It is interesting, like with my carrying experience, I did start with the smaller the gun, the better. And then I was like, wait, but 2011s exist. So maybe there is something to shrinking the gun size while optimizing the shootability at the same time. So I think I've landed kind of in a best of both worlds scenario where I've really squeezed out what I can from the design of the double stack 1911 hammer fire, whatever you might call this gun, with modern amenities, of course. And that same mentality transfers over with the Bodyguard 2.0, kind of shooting a smaller caliber, 380, all that kind of stuff. It's good enough. It'll take care of the job. Mistake number 4 is skipping the boring skills, skipping the stuff that's actually going to make a difference. Things like dry fire, which I still skip. Things like train consistently. And when you are going to the range, not just doing junk reps, kind of like when you're at the gym, you can totally like, you got 7, 8 reps left in the tank. That's a junk set. Making sure that you're pushing the limits, exposing your weaknesses, and working on them actively every time you go to the range. Mistake number 5 is going to be treating EDC as something that you set and forget, not as an evolving thing. And I think this mistake makes a lot of sense. Like if this works for my everyday context, is if this is a perfect fit for who I am and the things that I do, the things that I want to protect, it should work indefinitely. It should work forever. But that's kind of not the case because we as people change. Seasons change, wardrobes change, life needs change, even like where you live, the context the environment will change. Your carry should too. One year you might be single dude having fun, you know, carry a gun, whatever. You know, you don't need all that much. Next year you might be engaged. Next year you might be married. Next year you might have a kid. So like the way that you frame what you need, what you want to be carrying, who you want to be carrying for, kind of the Batman utility belt spectrum of things that you need to have on you is going to scale up and down with time. So I've made mistakes. I'll be the first to admit, and I'm sure that you guys have too, despite what some bold commenters might have to say on this video. But let me know. Let me know if there's some stuff that you guys have done that you're on the other side of now, realizing that, hey, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And maybe if I share it with other people, it could help them out. I appreciate you guys. God bless you and your families. Stay safe out there, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.